You set your own hours. You work from anywhere. You answer to no one. That was the pitch of the modern gig economy. To make that pitch a reality, tech companies burned through billions of dollars in venture capital. They were deliberately running at a loss to artificially prop up high pay and great conditions, just to lure in a massive workforce. During this honeymoon phase, workers actually got what they were promised. Whether driving for rideshare apps or taking freelance tech contracts, you enjoyed substantial bonuses, fast, responsive support, and total schedule control. This initial phase is about building dependency. Once you are integrated into the app's workflow and reputation system, the business model must eventually transition from subsidized growth to profitable extraction. Once a critical mass of workers relies on the platform to pay their rent, the company changes the rules. The venture capital subsidies disappear, and the platform begins finding ways to claw back value from the workforce to satisfy its shareholders. They execute this through silent software updates, a process researchers call feature alteration. The algorithm quietly tightens your routing times, limits your ability to decline tasks, and hides critical payout information, forcing you to accept jobs blind. Then comes burden shifting. The platform transfers the operational costs of doing business, like vehicle maintenance, insurance, and unpaid wait times, entirely off their balance sheet and directly onto yours. Suddenly, the math flips. You are working longer hours and carrying more financial risk, but taking home less money. The flexibility you signed up for has become a digital dependency. This squeeze is accelerating because human managers are being replaced. We see the ChatGPT interface and think of generative language models, but artificial intelligence is quietly becoming the standard corporate tool for allocating tasks, monitoring performance, and automating discipline. Unlike a human boss who might understand if you're sick or stuck in traffic, algorithmic management treats you as a commodified object of continuous improvement. It uses dynamic pricing and hidden math to act as a relentless stopwatch, constantly raising your performance baseline. This creates a physiological response that occupational psychologists call technostress. Whether it is a keystroke tracker monitoring your home laptop or a wearable scanner timing your bathroom breaks in a warehouse, continuous digital surveillance eliminates your privacy and spikes anxiety. Employees quickly realize they cannot negotiate with or appeal to a machine. To survive, they adapt through toxic resilience, enduring hostile, psychologically damaging conditions just to maintain a baseline livelihood. Software systems originally built to make our jobs easier and faster have been carefully recalibrated. They are now optimized extraction engines designed to push human effort to its absolute breaking point. We can actually measure exactly how this breaking point is reached. This paper details the Job Demands Resources Theory, or JDR, a scientifically validated framework used to evaluate occupational health and employee stress. The theory balances two categories. First, job demands, aspects requiring sustained physical or psychological effort, like impossible quotas or continuous tracking. On the side are job resources, elements that help you cope, like supportive teams, fair compensation, and autonomy. The data in this flow diagram shows a clear mathematical outcome. When organizations systematically increase job demands through digital tracking, while simultaneously cutting job resources to save money, they guarantee a collapse in employee well-being. If you feel burned out, it is not a sign that you are weak or failing to handle your stress. Your burnout is the precise, calculated output of a system designed to extract maximum value with zero regard for your sustainability. When you zoom out and look at this dynamic scaled across millions of workers in logistics, healthcare, and tech, the broader economic damage becomes visible. The data reveals a stark decoupling in the economy. Productivity has continued to climb as automation integrates into the workforce. Yet for most workers, median wages have remained largely stagnant or fallen behind inflation since 2002. This relentless work intensification creates a predictable domino effect. It drives massive employee turnover, degraded care for patients, and physically hollows out public services. Treating human labor strictly as a line item to be optimized by a computer generates huge quarterly returns, but it steadily destroys the long-term viability of the businesses and services we all rely on. You cannot rewrite the global economy single-handedly, but you can learn to spot the red flags of this platform decay before you sign a contract. During your next interview, prioritize questions about the role's digital mechanics. Ask how the company tracks performance through software. Find out whether scheduling is handled by a person or an algorithm, and what specific safeguards exist to prevent the workload from scaling indefinitely. Once you are in the role, you must be ruthless about your boundaries. Your primary defense against technostress is enforcing your right to disconnect. When you are off the clock, the digital surveillance must stop entirely. Ultimately, your long-term leverage lies in the things a machine cannot quantify. Cultivate human-centric skills like deep empathy, nuanced negotiation, and creative problem-solving. Algorithms struggle to measure these traits, and they certainly cannot replicate them. Work is meant to be an exchange of value, not an endless extraction. Defend your time, guard your mental health, and refuse to let any software reduce you to just another data point.